Hi everybody, and welcome to the Power Hour. We are so excited. Okay, so this is the first time we've obviously done this. We're so excited. You guys, a lot of you guys from Region 1 have just got back from SFR. We had ours at the beginning of June, and oh my gosh, that excitement is just incredible. So I hope you guys are all super buzzing for that. Whatever the fire you've got, just keep it going into your business. Keep it going. Push it into your business and you'll see amazing things come from it. So my name is Tam Richards and I am so excited to be here. Very nervous, but I'm really excited. We've got a lineup of 4 of us, of me, Lisa Allwood, Jennifer Anderson and Chloe Cox, and we are here to give you fire. We are running for this and hoping to give you as much fire as we possibly can. So thank you so much for giving us your time and showing up for you and for your business. We really appreciate it. So I think between us, I've totted up, we've got about 30 years experience in Scentsy. I think both Jennifer and Chloe are about 10 years, a little bit more, yeah. And then obviously me and Lisa are about 5 years each. So yeah, between us, we've got like 30 years experience. So hoping we can give you as much as we possibly can. We want you to know, the main thing I always really want everyone to know, and I know everybody does, is the work you do is so worth it. Okay, no matter what, when, how, no matter how hard it feels, it's work worth doing every time. Even when it's not happening quick enough, when it's not happening easy enough, it's just so worth it. Okay, the sacrifices are worth it. It's obviously hard, but it's not easy, we know that, but you've got to admit it's kind of fun working with Scentsy products, working with the people that are in Scentsy, going to the amazing events like you guys just went to at the weekend. It makes it so worth it and it's so much fun. So we're all 4 of us very passionate, because I mean, I have watched an abundance of training from Chloe and Jennifer, and I know all 4 of us are super passionate about Scentsy and about the actual industry in itself, the opportunity that Scentsy gives us, everything about the whole opportunity and the industry. It's an absolute genius business model that doesn't just give you a paycheck that you've done for the work you do once. It pays you off over and over and over again. And it's just absolutely genius. And that's what I absolutely love about it. The time you invest into your business. So with a 9-to-5 job, you go to work, you get paid for the hours you do. You go home, you get your paycheck. You don't get paid for that time ever again when you work a 9-to-5 job. But in Scentsy, you invest that time into your business, you get paid for that over and over again. So when you build that relationship with that new customer who turns into a recruit, that pays you off over and over again, because then they invest the time and you get paid for that. That grows your business, that builds your business too. It's just so worth it. Okay. So the thing I personally love about the business for me is, and this is what I stand for, I always think your reason why not becomes your reason why. It becomes what you stand for. I've talked to a lot of my leaders recently, and the things that they've said that holds them back, like, oh, I've just got no confidence, or I'm too old. I'm like, or I'm too young. I'm like, that's why. That's what you tell other people. You tell other people. It doesn't matter if you think you're too old, you're too young. Everyone has got their thing they stand for. And for me, it's the fact that I am extremely ordinary. I am like the most average person in the world, but I've achieved something extraordinary. I have achieved something extraordinary. I never excelled at anything, never, ever. And I came into Scentsy with no skills, no nothing. I just loved it. I wanted to be part of the company. I loved the people. I was excited. And that's what I did. I just became I was somebody who was just so ordinary, from a really crappy town in England called Scunthorpe that no one's ever heard of. And I've done something extraordinary, and every single other person can do that too. Everybody can. Scentsy offers us all an opportunity to do something special. There's no finish line, there's no ending, and it's an opportunity for everyone, absolutely everyone. So my first thing I want to talk to you guys is that you can do it. You absolutely can do it. There's not a single reason in the world why you can't be a superstar director or whatever it is you want to be, okay? There's no rule book on how you can succeed. So I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, and we had a bit of a powwow earlier, and the thing I want to talk to you about is to, obviously, you've got a choice every single day. You've got a choice whether you work your business, whether you show up, or whether you don't. But I want to talk to you tonight about growth mode. I'm aware of the time. So, okay, I'll try and be quick. So I want to touch tonight about growth mode. So I believe there's two modes of a working consultant that a consultant could be in, okay? Somebody who, and when I say a working consultant, I mean someone who's showing up for the business, someone who's doing things, okay? I believe that there's two modes that we can be in, and it's really important to be self-aware of what mode you are working your business at. That I believe that we have to be very accountable to ourselves, but I believe that there's two modes. So growth mode and maintenance mode. I know this is something I talked to my team about before, okay, but this is something I always, every single person I look at, and I'm like, okay, what mode are you working at? Growth mode or maintenance mode? So growth mode is where we are taking consistent actions to grow. And the other is maintenance mode, when we're maintaining what we've already built. Okay, so when we first joined Scentsy, we do some really scary things. Okay, pressing that join button's scary. Like, I was scared pressing that join button. Okay, we have to announce to the world that we're a consultant and tell the world that we have joined Scentsy and we're selling that products. That is scary. That is really scary. Okay, we have to do things that we've probably never ever done before. We have to use a new system. Like, I was terrified of the workstation when I joined. I was like convinced I was going to break it. It took me so long to feel like it was like my 15th day when I actually went into it. But I do see a pattern in a lot of consultants. They come in, they've got growth mode activated, they're excited, they pick up momentum, they're going in, and then they start, so they're like, woof, going in, telling everybody they've joined Scentsy, and then they steady off into maintenance mode, okay? They steady off into maintenance mode and they just stop growing. And then that maintaining doesn't feel as exciting anymore because they're not doing new things. They're not meeting new people. They're not getting exciting new orders. They're just maintaining what they've already built. And then when they stop being excited, their customers stop being excited. So their customers don't buy as much. And then when they're not excited about sharing the opportunity and telling other people about joining the company and sharing it and sharing their own Scentsy life and letting other people see that they're excited. Okay, so they've come in, they're being all excited, all the things have been coming, they steady off, the excitement goes, and then they go down. Okay, I see that so much. Okay, I want you to know, literally, a superstar director is just someone who activated growth mode and they didn't switch it off. They came in, they did what it takes at the beginning. I'm trying to think which way around you're seeing this. If you, they did what it takes at the beginning to grow, and they just didn't stop. They just didn't activate maintenance mode. They stayed in growth mode. Okay. There's times all consultants, even with the hugest businesses, okay, there's times when people slip into maintenance mode or even less. Okay, it's okay. Like, there's never ever a time that's too late to go pick up growth mode again and get excited again. It's never ever too late. Okay, so there's never why not restart tomorrow? Wake up tomorrow like you've just bought your Scentsy business. Go for shooting star again. Go for shooting star by the 15th. Go for sensational start again by the end of the month. Shoot for the stars like you did at the very beginning. When you came in, you were so excited and you were telling all those new people. Because seriously, I have got absolutely no skills that you don't have. I have no skills that you don't have, or if I do, you can learn them. They are all learned skills. None of us will have gone to any kind of, Scentsy college that taught us what we needed to know. And I'm pretty sure there's a million things that all of you can do way better than me. I'm very, very average, but I check my excitement levels and I fuel my fire with new excitement, new consultant excitement every day. I love, especially my Scentsy-versary, when I think about how I felt when, like, it comes back to me, how I felt when I first joined and exactly what I did when I first joined, just doing it over and over and over again. And I run for growth every single month without fail. Of course, there's times when not everything you do pays off. That's okay, but they may pay off later because, again, the work is worth doing. The things you think about the conversation how long it took you to join. You may have a conversation this month and it may take that person 6 months to join, but it's still work worth doing. And I actively look to find 10 to 15 new customers a month, okay, each month, because those new customers, not only do they replace the ones that perhaps stop buying, or maybe their friend joins and they start buying from their friend, but it also replaces the ones that join, because they new customers, guess what? They also become your new teammates. I see a pattern where I was looking at the people I've recruited, and I see them like a 3 month, quite a regular 3 month pattern where they start buying. 3 months later, they start inquiring about joining, because at the best time for someone to join is right at the beginning when they're super, super excited. So I think, and that's because I really, really work on those relationships. When they become my customer, I really work on the relationships all the time. I take so much time to get to know them, get to see what they love and work on them. I work to build new customers every month by growing my network, by using a public social media platform to share, not just my closed group. If I stuck in my closed group all the time, only the same people would see what I'm doing. I wouldn't be getting in front of new people. You have to be getting in front of, I do work mainly online. That's, I would say 95% of my customers I've never even met, because I work mainly online, but I am literally focused on getting in front of new people all the time. I offer a referral scheme. I have a referral scheme. So I offer my customers, because they've got their own network. So I'm actively working into building to their networks. So I offer any of my customers a free full-size gift. You don't have to do this. You do whatever works for you. But I offer them a free full-size gift if they refer a customer to me who spends £20 or more. That's what I do. And I also actively seek to network with other small businesses, because you scratch their back, they're likely to scratch yours too. So that works really well for me too. But the most important thing I can tell you about focusing on your growth is your network. Your network is so important. So I don't know if you guys read books. This one, I don't know if Chloe and Jennifer, I love this book. Absolutely love this book. It talks so much about your network. It's absolutely gold. And it really hits home that your network, it's not just about quantity, it's about quality. It's about the quality of your network as well. It is a brilliant book. I think it just sums everything up. I tell everyone to read it. So it's not just about the amount of people you've got in network. It's about the quality of that person. And I believe personally, if you are doing self-development, you are able to build better quality relationships with people. Because if you are doing self-development and personally building yourself, you are able to add more value. You can give more value to others. And if you give more value to others, they will absolutely be attracted to carrying on talking to you. You give sorry, I'm reading that, I'm writing the same download. You give value, they come back to you, and they will keep, that's how your relationships get better and better. So absolutely work your self-development, and grow your audience a little each day. Every day work towards, it was actually something Jennifer said earlier. She said about everything, I want to call you Jen, but when I called you Jen to Gemma, she laughed at me. I was like, oh, like pet names now. But she said, every single day we've got a choice whether you show up or you don't. And it's so true. It is really as simple as that. You have absolutely got a choice, and just work to grow your audience. And another thing that I've found amazing, and I could just never ever get my head around how lucky we are, is Disney and Warner Brothers. That is the most amazing way to grow your network. There is literally millions of people who are obsessed with Disney and Warner Brothers and Harry Potter and all those things right now. We've got them, we've got products that they want, and it's, you know, you can absolutely grow by advertising that and sharing that and finding people who love it and growing with that. So yes, it's hard work. Yes, it's sacrifice, but it's so worth it. Your freedom, your pension, whatever, your lifeline, whatever Scentsy is to you, is so worth it. All the bad days, and it's worth all the no's, I promise you. You just got to remember, a superstar director is an essential consultant who kept on doing the simple things over and over and just got better and better and better at them and just kept doing them. They honed their skill, they worked, they just got better and did it over and over again. And they believed in themselves, they believed in others, they took massive action over again. Okay, over to Lisa.
How do you follow that, Tam Richards? Oh my God, fire, absolute fire. I'm sitting here like I get into like mesmerized mode where I'm like listening, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to speak in a minute. I need to like I need to just read over what I'm going to say. I absolutely love that. I love growth mode. That whole, I rang Tom earlier again, and I was like, what was that mode again? Like, tell me what it was. And it literally just makes me think the whole time, are you growing? And that growth is so important, that networking. So is that someone having a, we're good. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about focus and self-accountability and setting some goals, and I'm hopefully going to give you a little resource as well, maybe, if I can send it, if it works. So I've been thinking about today when we were talking about those non-negotiables, like what are those things that are absolutely non-negotiable for you? I am a big believer in the non-negotiables. Like, I put everything to one side and I make my decision that where, you know, this growth is only going to happen, that growth mode is only going to happen if I make a few little sacrifices in my own life. And I've got non-negotiables. So for me, my non-negotiables are that I am going for 2,000 PRV, actually 2,500 PRV every single month. I'm looking to recruit 1 to 2 people minimum of every month. I'm not a massive recruiter, but at the same time, it's non-negotiable for me. I want those 1 to 2 people. I also look to build in new customers. They're in my non-negotiables, like every month. And actually, it was Tam that said to me last week, well, how many new customers do you get a month? And I was like, do you know what? I've never really thought about that question. And actually having a number goal makes it so much easier to actually aim for something. So that's what I want to sort of talk about, is like those goals that we're going to be setting. And it's in these quieter months. I'm saying quieter months in inverted commas because I don't really think that we have quiet months in Scentsy. I think that's a mindset. And people say, oh, the J months are quiet. No, it's a mindset. If you allow the J months to be a quiet month, it's going to be a quiet month. If that's your mindset, you're basically setting yourself up to fail before the month's even begun. So for me, I'm like, there's no such thing as a quiet month. Let's just work out. I'm probably that eye roller that when someone says, it's a quiet month, you might get an eye roll from me, unless you're on the phone, obviously. You might get an eye roll. I'll be completely honest, because I just don't believe in him. And it's all about your mindset and how you approach the month. And I actually think these quieter months, again, saying it in inverted commas, are your preparation. These are like your key months to actually, like right now, this is, and Tam, you're not laughing at me because I'm going to say the word wrong. These are the months that, how do you say it? Fruition. I said fruition earlier, and she actually laughed at me and was like, that's not how you say it, please. That's not the word. And I was like, it is. And when we Googled it.
She even asked the computer.
I did. I asked the computer. Google University, winner. But honestly, these are the months where you're prepping. These are the months where you got it right, Lise. Yes, Jem, I did. These are the months where, for me, I think you need to be bringing in those, those new customers. Think about that growth period. Be working like right now on those new customers, because I tell you, when we get into August, September, October, you're not going to have time to find 50,000 new customers. I promise you, because you're going to be so busy that you're not going to know what to do. So this is the time to really spend that time networking, finding new people to talk to. If you can book parties. I know there are lots of people that are, finding that a real struggle right now. But if that is a struggle for you, you've got to pivot and find a new way to find new people. It was only last week I went to the gym. I actually decided to rejoin a gym in lockdown. I bought myself a Peloton. I love my Peloton, absolutely love it. And I said to my husband, I'm going to rejoin the gym. And he looked at me and he rolled his eyes. He was like, really? You've got a Peloton? And I said to him, I need to be meeting new people. And I said, at the moment, I am going to drop the kids off to school. I'm coming home. I'm in my office, or I'll meet up with my Scentsy girls. We go for breakfast and things like that. I'm not networking. And I said, it's not enough. And lo and behold, last week I walked into the gym, done a class, Scentsy water bottle in hand, didn't need to say a word. Lady comes up to me, do you sell that product? Yeah, I sell that product. Two brand new customers just from going into the gym with a Scentsy water bottle. And that was networking without me physically having to do anything. I didn't have to get uncomfortable. I didn't have to have a conversation. And it led to a referral because her sister also wanted the sample pack. She's got a borrow bag. And we're going to have, that's going to be amazing off the back of that. I'm thinking party, and actually let's get you hooked and let's get you joining Scentsy. That's, it's that process. But for that to happen, you've got to be in that mindset that you want to be growing all the time. You need to be growing that network all of the time, whether it's quiet, whether we're in an incentive period. I hear this quite a lot, like right now, we're not really in an incentive period because there's not a trip. I don't work like that. It doesn't actually, whether we've got a trip on or not, I'm not aiming for the trips. The trips, and this is a quote, okay, this is from Orville. Earning an incentive trip is a powerful way to move your business forward. The value of an incentive trip is the ability to focus on the program of earning it. The destination is just the packaging. And I love that, because technically Scentsy aren't silly. And I feel like I've said this before. They're not silly. They set up the trips because actually, if you get your business doing your 2,500, bringing in your new people, helping your new people to actually do something with their business, your business is going to be a strong business. And that shouldn't be something that you pick up 6 months of the year or 4 months of the year, or just when there's a trip, or just when there's, you know, it's Christmas. It's all about working that business consistently every single month and hitting your non-negotiables and your goals. So important. And it's not always going to be easy. Another Orville quote, I found these because I had these printed for my leaders, which was all the quotes that we got, and I absolutely love these. He said, we shouldn't fear difficult journeys. We should embrace them, because of the difficult journeys that give us the stories that give us purpose to others. And I was like, it's so true. You know, these things are set there for a reason. So these are my non-negotiables. We need to dream big, and you've got to have ways of finding ways to hit these goals. Okay, so what I did was I had a bit of thought. I don't know about you guys, but last month or the month before, when we had those blasted rings to fill, my team was so focused. They were really focused. They were self-accountable, more so than I've ever seen. Okay, and I actually put a little message out to Holly, and I said to Holly Baker, our country manager, we need those rings like on the workstation, permanent. Like, people need to be able to see where their PRV is coming from, where they're selling, where they're not. I said, for me, it really made me realize, okay, you sell a lot of warmers and wax, but actually body products isn't your jam. I need to go away and I need to work on that. I need to work on my marketing. I need to pivot, because I want to be an all-rounded businesswoman that can sell any of our products. I don't need to, and we all know that we love our warmers and wax, right? So it got me thinking. I think one of the things, what I've done is I've put this together, which hopefully is going to be something that you can use. Okay, so I got onto good old Pit Monkey this afternoon. And I called this Fill Your Rings for Every Month for you, because this has got to be about you being self-accountable, not for anybody else. And I'll send this over to you girls. If you want it, you can. You literally can use this every single month. And it was one of the girls, we went for breakfast this week, and she said, you know what? I don't know why I've never thought about actually filling the rings every single month. You can literally name them whatever you like, and you can set your goal to whatever you like. So this could be 1,000 PRV for every single ring if you like. But if it makes you accountable and it makes you actually say, do you know what? I'm going to fill those rings. If that's what works for you, then you need to give yourself some focus. So this for me is like, it was gold. I actually thought whoever came up with that incentive the other month, there was a really good reason for it. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And that focus and that self-accountability means that you can have those non-negotiables in your business, whatever they are. You know, but everybody needs to have them, whether you're just starting out your business right now, or whether you've been in Scentsy for 5 years, maybe you're in that maintenance mode. Actually, by setting yourself a visual goal, setting yourself something that you can work towards, having those non-negotiables in place of, I'm not going to go and watch Netflix until I have found a new joiner to join my team. And my team know that there are some days where I will say, I'm going to be like out of action today because I need to go and find a joiner, and I'm not leaving my office. And my husband's come home before and said, are you coming to have dinner? No, not until I've got my joiner. And he'll bring my dinner here quite often, bless him, he's so good. He'll bring my dinner down to the end of the garden, and he'll say, you need to eat something. And I'm like, I'll see you later when I've got my joiner. Now, what also works for me, if you are somebody that needs to be incentivized by that trip, by the ring light, or whatever it is, then give yourself a little incentive prize. Every time you fill a ring, give yourself, I read, it was, who was the book that I read that? It's a bit like the 12-month year. If you've read the 12-month year, it's all about periodization and basically setting smaller chunk goals. Similar type thing, you basically, every time you hit one of your little goals, you give yourself a little treat. And it might well be, that treat could be something as silly as, when I was going for annual sales, I said to the kids, right, when if mummy hits her PRV goal for this month, we can go and do a day out. You choose what you want that day out to be. And one of them was like, well, can we go to the zoo, or could we go to, the park? I was like, wherever you want to go, you tell me where you want to go. And that's what we did. And they kept me accountable, because every day they said to me, oh, have you done this? We did it with reels. We did a 90-day reel challenge in our squad. And every time they come home and went, have you done that reel? And I was like, yes, I'm doing it. I'm off down the end of the garden with my ring light to film my reel. But they kept me accountable, because they wanted to make sure that we got to do that family thing. And yeah, it could be something really silly. It doesn't have to be a big, tangible, huge, hairy, a Louis Vuitton bag every time you hit 100 PRV, for example. It doesn't need to be that, but it could be something small, something that means a lot to you, something that, makes you go, yeah, I did that. And sometimes we need that incentivizing, but we need to learn to incentivize ourselves. And that's something I think that's really important, because if Scentsy one day decided to take away the incentives, and your incentivizing was that you got paid every month, or, that we didn't have these little goals to hit for, what are you working for? You've got to know that your reason for getting up every single day, what's your why? What's the long goal? What's your freedom at the end of the day? Your freedom isn't a ring light from Scentsy. Your freedom is what this business, oh my God, I give myself goosebumps then, what this business can actually give you in the long term, being able to give up your job, or, all of those different things. So you've got to know what your goals are. You've got to know where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what your goals are. So I think that's me covered, but handing over to you, Chloe, I think.
Me? Is it my turn? Awesome. Okay, guys. I'm super excited to pop in here, and even to be invited was a huge honor for me. I know Jen, but I literally don't know the other two very well at all. So thank you guys for having me on. I'm going to talk a little bit about leaders and developing them and identifying them. The first thing I want to say is no one is too dumb or doesn't know enough or any of those lies you tell yourself to be a leader. The second you have one person on your team, you have got what it takes. 9 times out of 10, well, you already have. You should already be certified. If not, I know a lot of people that recruit when they're essential and they bring them with them to certify together, but you've already been there. So I want to preface it with that. You have the tools. You don't need an upline to build a team. You don't need anything special to build a team. You just need to believe that you can, and you need to start with one. And so I am very, very passionate about building leaders. Just a little background about me. Very, very passionate about it. This is really, I guess you could say, my thing. This is a part of my purpose, is helping these men and women have free lives and really to go and change the world. And so I'm very intentional when I build leaders. I'm intentional with how I identify them and how I work with them. So what we're going to talk about now, and I do have notes for this entire training that I actually did at SFR, which I can make sure you guys have available to you. But I'm going to really go with knowing the way. So those of you that have ever heard Oracle talk about,
yeah.
Y'all got them. Okay. So those of you guys that have ever heard know the way, go the way, and show the way from Oracle is what I'm going to be talking about. So we're going to talk about that know the way. Something that I was thinking about before this training that I wrote down, your team is not just looking at how good you are, but how competent you are. And what I mean by that is they're looking to see, does she know the breakdown of the compensation plan? Does she know the benchmarks for a leader? Does she know what to focus on after Shooting Star when you're launching your new consultants? Because yes, after Shooting Star, you should be focusing on certified. After certified, you should be focusing on next steps, which could open the whole window for that consultant. So I really want you guys to challenge yourselves to that and just think about, are you looking really good in your business? Are you selling really well? Are you doing all these things really well? If you are doing really well, my I am so ADD. So I literally, my mind is like going all over the place. All right. So the second thing I want you to ask yourself, if you're going the way, you're doing the things, you're having all the PRV, do you know how to get your team to where you're at? Do you understand the compensation plan? So in saying that, there's a couple things down for you guys. All right, these are criticals to leading. These are critical things I believe that if you want to be a leader that you should know as a leader. All right, compensation plan. Do you know with your eyes closed? Do you literally know the compensation plan with your eyes closed? Do you know how to tell your team members how they can get to lead, star, superstar, all the way up to SSD? Even if you're not an SSD yet, you should be looking at, knowing, and identifying all of those benchmarks. So when you're there, when I was at SSD, there were things I didn't even know that I used to have to ask Jen because I wasn't competent in those areas. Like, hey, what's a first gen director to me? Oh, I didn't know that was anybody under me with no directors in between. So now all this information has been threaded out to you guys, YouTube videos. I have a ton of videos on the compensation plan. Make sure you understand it. When you're competent too, and team members come to you, you're not scared to share with them the next steps. There's confidence in learning about this business, learning about TWV, GWV, learning how to calculate the percentages to see how far off your team member is away from lead. These things I think are critical because when you're competent in this, your team member is going to trust you and they're going to listen to you. So I think this is like vital. The next thing is annual mentor and annual sales. I'm a firm believer that anyone, no matter what you want to do in your business, whether it's hobby or you want to be a superstar director, annual sales is something that every single consultant can attain without sponsoring. Now, in saying that, $2,000 a month is not going to get you there. So one thing I tell people too, especially my leaders, is if you're constantly reaching that 2,000, you've got to that benchmark, you've challenged yourself, you've done what I call mini habits to get there, you need to stretch it to 2,500 because you're not going to earn annual sales with 2,000 PRV a month. So we need to keep that in mind. And then with the annual mentor, you guys, this is critical, I think, if you're a leader to strive after and earn, just like the trips that Tam and Lisa were talking about, you know, the trips and the way they incentivize, that's all extra. But the reason I firmly believe that Scentsy does these trips is because they want to help you build leaders. They want to help people build leaders and build a culture. And you may not even realize you're doing that, but as you're earning these incentives, guys, they're always based off sales and sponsoring. So going into the fall with Annual Mentor, if you don't have access to it in your workstation, you need to manually be tracking that, guys, and make sure for your team members, if they don't have access to it, you can tell them how to track it as well. And then the last thing that I think is critical to leading is how are you onboarding new consultants? This is something I'm constantly evolving in. I'm constantly thinking, right, am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? Is it too much information? And this is something every month I try to get better and better and better at. I'm always getting feedback from my consultants to my frontline. I'm talking about my frontline. I'm very, very focused on my frontline, by the way. And as a leader, your primary concern should not be your team. Your primary concern should be your frontline, how you're leading them, what your active frontline looks like, and how many leaders you have, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But when it comes to onboarding new consultants, that experience is critical. Okay. It is critical to help as much as you can without killing yourself, but helping them feel comfortable, helping them establish some belief, and setting some little goals for them to see, okay, if they do that, I'm going to know how much they're going to do next, and so on and so forth. And so with my new consultants, I do have an onboarding program. I'll make sure you guys have all of that. And I did also share it at SFR, but with my onboarding program, I'm just very, very intentional with resources. My husband always says, we're not CEOs, we're CROs, resources, we're resources. And so our job as leaders is to be resourceful, to make sure these people, to make sure too, I think this is important. You need to go ahead and get systems in place. I'm very big on systems. I'll make sure all that's shared with you guys, but you need systems in place so these new consultants can be rocking and rolling. So they know the targets like, okay, first things first checklist, shooting star, certified. Keep it simple. And try to cut the fluff with them pretty early on, because a lot of consultants get really entangled in Facebook groups and fluff, and I'm not involved in any of that stuff. They're all distractions to me. And so I'm very, very focused on what does my culture need? What does my team need? All right. And also using the resources Scentsy has, utilizing Sensational Star. And I'm talking about this because in order to build a leader, you got to build a strong consultant. And if you're not building a strong consultant from the get-go, meaning you're not doing everything for them, you're not texting their customers, you're not throwing every little ounce of their launch party, but you're helping build not just a consultant, but an independent business owner, because you're not going to be able to duplicate and replicate by being all over all the time. So also, I want you guys to know that when I am building new consultants in the first 30 days and so on and so forth, they know my business hours. And I think this is very critical, because I want you guys to think right now, can you do with your consultants right now what you're doing with 1,000. If you can't, you need to immediately stop. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care that it feels good. I don't care that sending 50 million boxes out to your team. It is not duplicatable. This is actually something I learned from Jen, because when I was a new consultant, I was doing tester giveaways and all these things. Guys, Scentsy incentivizes us with our paycheck, with trips, and with summer incentives. You don't need to be sending all these things, making all these things. And now there's a time and a place and events and things like that. I'll do special things, but let that go right now. Don't feel like you have to do that. Scentsy incentivizes well beyond anything that we could ever do. And last but not least, because of time, I want to talk about a leadership benchmark chart that I made. So as a leader, me and my husband have started really establishing this with our new leaders. You want to really bring one promotion with you a month as a leader, okay? Whether it be certified, lead, and as you grow as a leader, those leadership promotions are going to grow. I want you guys to think right now, and I do have a chart that I'll make sure you guys all have access to with the breakdown of leadership benchmarks, but how many frontline leaders do you have right now? How many frontline leads do you have? How many frontline stars do you have? And how many frontline superstars do you have if you're a director? The biggest mistake I made whenever I was a superstar director, I wasn't paid a title for a whole year. Biggest mistake I made was focusing on 4 first-gen directors. I was so scared that I would lose them. I was so scared that they would fall apart. So in doing that for a whole year, I missed all these other people under me that I could have been bringing up. So that next year, I started identifying and developing how to build leaders, because it doesn't exist with Scentsy. It just doesn't. It doesn't. If you guys find it for me, let me know, but it doesn't exist. So I had to figure out, okay, how do I instill value in these people and help them get to where they want to be? And it was about me growing me's. Me growing leaders. So I want you guys to challenge yourself and look at, okay, whatever your title is, how many leadership frontline promotions are underneath you, legit. And I think some of y'all's jaws are going to drop whenever you guys realize that even as directors, something I realized as directors, which is why I made this benchmark chart, is I had directors with 1 frontline star. That's a major issue. That's like a disaster. You're dang right you're not going to get paid a title because you don't have any leaders that are recruiting. And the purpose of creating leaders is for them to duplicate and replicate what you're doing. So you want them sponsoring heavy. You can sponsor slow, but if you sponsor heavy, you're going to promote quicker. I sponsored 4 to 6 a month the first 4 years of my business, and Jen knows that. I sponsored like crazy, and she did too, because you have to build it. You got to go through, yeah, quantity is king. Quality is king. You need the quality, but you got to go through quantity. And a lot of consultants are out here not recruiting people and waiting. They may not be good. You don't know. I bet my sponsor probably never thought in a million years, never thought. But here we are. And so I also want you guys to know this whole sponsoring low and all that, I don't know where this happened, but you're not going to grow by being a mama bear to your team of 16 people when you've sponsored 1 person in 4 months. That's not showing the way. You need to focus on building a business and sponsoring heavy so you can grow sensational starters, certified consultants, and build leads. If you're sitting here, I'm being very honest, as a director right now, and you're looking at your frontline leaders, I really want you guys to reevaluate what your focus is on in your biz. Who cares about the flyers pages? Who cares about any of that stuff? What does it look like behind the scenes? What are you doing when no one else is looking? I don't give a crap about Instagram. I don't care about social media. That's all gravy. What are you doing behind the scenes when nobody else is looking, to build leaders, to develop them, to pull numbers, to make sure annual mentor should not be negotiable? Same with shooting stars, sensational stars. So anyways, just to close it out, because I could go on and on about this because I'm very passionate about it. Start with 1 and lead with 1. Don't wait. Stop waiting on your upline to do meetings. Make your own meetings. Stop waiting on your upline to do all these things. This is your business. This is your team. Not that you have ownership over them, but you have mentorship over them. And you're in this place. So stop waiting on your director, your star director, your superstar director to do calls, and take accountability for leadership. Take the accountability that they've been talking about as a consultant and bring that into your leadership, because you have what it takes. If you have gotten to that title, you can bring someone to that title, and then y'all can earn the next title together, and you can bring 2 more from the other title. And then at the same time, you're sponsoring and you're bringing in certified consultants. So anyways, I'm done.
Oh my God, this has been so good. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm using the headphones, so I just want to make sure. This has been so good. I'm like so hype right now. over this. And I hope, honestly, like my hope for this whole thing is that you feel like we are your personal hype squad. That is exactly what we wanted to do. And I feel like you've gotten some fire today. You've gotten some truth bombs. You've gotten some practical tips. You've gotten some like, hey, here's where you can start. Like I love Tam's idea, like 5 to 10 new customers a month. Lisa, make your own rings. You know, Chloe said, I love what Chloe just said. And she said, when you get to a place, then you can bring others to that place, right? And that's talking about leading from the front, going the way first. You cannot show the way if you do not go the way, right? So there's been so many good things. And I wanna wrap it up and tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. So I am in my car, okay? And actually, you see, you guys recognize this box here, right? All those boxes back there. I'm in my car. I am away from my family currently for the next 2 weeks, okay? I am doing a fair. And I set up this booth at this fair, and I set up tens of thousands of dollars worth of Scentsy, and I sell Scentsy. And you might look at what I do and you say like, wow, that's really cool. You can sell $20,000 worth of Scentsy, right? In 2 weeks. And that is really cool. And that's amazing. But you know, the whole reason I'm here is to meet new people. The whole reason that I'm here is to expand my network. And so I don't care if I'm here for 2 weeks and I sell $500 or if I sell 50,000. My goal is to meet new people. I left my house. I left my family. I'm staying in a hotel for 2 weeks, and I filled my truck up and I hauled a trailer full of Scentsy so that I could meet new people. Even as a superstar director, you have to still be meeting new people till the end of time. Don't ever think, I love what Tam said in the beginning. She said, there is no finish line. My gosh, that could not be more true. And if you have walked into this business thinking superstar director is the finish line or director is the finish line, you are so wrong, my friend. Earning a trip is the finish line. No, it does not end there. It doesn't stop there. And there are a few behaviors that you have to repeat forever and ever and ever and ever. And meeting new people is one of them. And meeting new people, expanding your network, growing the people that you're talking to, you guys, that is the foundation for everything that you want. You want new recruits? It comes from meeting new people. You want more sales? Comes from meeting new people. You want to book parties? Meeting new people. You want to have a great referral program? You got to have people to refer you, right? Meeting new people, okay? It's absolutely crucial, clutch, foundational, something you can't stop doing. So I left my home so that I could come here and meet new people. And where I'm at right now, I started my business here in this city 12 years ago. And I built my business here for 7 years. I hit the ground running, and I talked to person after person after person. And Scentsy was so new then. And I remember so many conversations I used to have and be like, no, it's not a candle. Yes, you can leave it on all the time. And back then, that was the sole focus. We only had warmers and wax. The sole focus was fire safety. You can leave it on all the time. Boom. Now we're the world's best fragrance company. Okay. Now it's so much more than that. And now there are so many other things that I can talk about, but I hit the ground running, and I had the same conversations over and over and over again until I was blue in the face, until I wanted to smack my head like, why aren't you getting it? And yes, Jennifer, I don't want to sound conceited calling myself a pioneer, but totally, I was a pioneer in this area because there were not consultants here. And so I built my business here, and I built hardcore. I built fast. I recruited heavy, just like Chloe talked about. I partied. I would drive an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for a home party, because like Chloe said, you never, ever, ever freaking know. You never know. And you can never judge what one person can do for your business. You never know where one person can take your business, whether that be a customer or a host or turning into a recruit who changes your business forever. And I built my business here so hard. And I came back here last night, and the first night of my fair was last night. And do you know that I saw people that I've seen for the last decade and have come and bought Scentsy from me, but I met 5 new customers last night who had never tried Scentsy. Never. And they bought Scentsy from me last night, and I could leave it there and let it go. But you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to do the good, hard work of follow-up. I'm going to check in with them. I'm going to make sure they love it, and I know they are. And I'm going to encourage brand loyalty, and I'm going to teach them to love Scentsy and love me. And I'm eventually going to turn them into recruits in the long run. But I would have never met those 5 new people in a place that I worked for a really long time that people would think is so saturated, and there are thousands of consultants here, and it's not a big, huge city. And why in the heck would anyone start a Scentsy business there? Because I met 5 new people last night. That's why. In a short 6-hour span. Okay. But I would have never even come here to meet those new people, to grow my business, to grow my network. And I would have never left my family for 2 weeks just after being gone for a week at SFR. I would have never skipped out on the very, very precious time with my family, because I love them more than I love Scentsy. I love my family more than I love Scentsy. And I would have never hopped out on that precious time had I not had a deeply rooted, passionate purpose for this whole freaking thing. And let me tell you, sacrifice is required in order to be successful. You have to sacrifice something. Maybe it's time, maybe it's money, maybe it's emotion, maybe it's friendships, maybe it's going out, maybe it's Netflix. I don't know what it is for you, but if you want to find success, you're going to have to sacrifice something. And there have been many times in my life where I have sacrificed time with my family. And at this point in my business, I'm gone from my family probably anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks out of the year. But those 8 to 10 weeks of me being gone allows me to be fully present and never have to miss anything for those other 42 weeks out of the year. And you know what? I will gladly work 20% out of the year so I can spend 80% of the time with the people that I love the most. And you will never do that if you're working a 9 to 5. You will never do that if someone else is your boss. You will never do that if you have to answer to another person. I don't care. I will gladly work and I will gladly leave, even though it hurts and I cry and I miss them and I FaceTime 7 times a day because I can't see them. I will gladly work 20% of the year missing my family so I can spend 80% of the year doing exactly whatever the heck I want. And that is true freedom. And that is what we do here. And I never want you to lose sight of that, because that is what we do here. And not only is that what we do here, but that's what you can help others realize in their journey too. Because guys, this is so much bigger than just you. This is so much more than about just you. And I want you to change your circumstances, and I want you to change your reality, and I want you to build generational wealth, and I want you to break generational curses, and I want you to do all of the things that you want to do, and you have the ability and the power to do that in Scentsy. But I also need you to realize that it is even greater than that, and you have the ability to impact others for good, and you have the opportunity to help others realize those same beautiful, life-changing things. And like Chloe said before, first you have to go there, and then you can bring people there with you. So here's my challenge to you. My challenge to you is to go there. Freaking go there. My challenge to you is to decide. First, you have to decide, where do you want to go? What do you want your life to look like? If you want to work it out, go ahead, work another job. I don't care. Go there. Wherever it is that you want to go there. Decide and then go. Let nothing stand in your way. And then bring people with you. Bring people to their there. Let them decide what their there is. Let them choose what their there is, and then help them get there. You go to yours and you let them go to theirs. And you come together, and that is where impact lives, and that is where world changers live. And you guys, you are world changers. You are world changers. That's what you have the opportunity to do here. And that's what we're doing here. So listen, I hope you're hyped. I hope you're ready to go. That's exactly what we wanted to do, is hype you up, give you practical tips, help you focus in, decide where you want to go, and then go there. We love you so much. And look, if you're nice to us, maybe we'll do this again. All right, I am off. I'm literally in my car because I'm running into my event as we speak. So you know your girl is ready, okay? You know I already visited. I might hit a second round before I go. Just kidding. Love you so much. I'm honored to be able to do this with these incredible, powerful, beautiful women who shine so bright. And I'm honored to be able to speak to all of you. And our hope is that you guys replicate this someday with your own downlines, and that you have your own power hours. We love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.